thought to be one of the most expensive car crashes. 8 Ferraris, 3 Mercedes-Benz, 1 Lamborghini, and the last 2 included a Toyota Prius. At a guess, the Prius owner was not the show-off in the pack. Total cost around £2.5 million. Unremarkably, witnesses say some cars were travelling 50 miles an hour above the speed limit.
Fortunately, all participants in the event were all right. Now, let's turn to Emily Walsh, who has a special report on the facts of M. Valdemar.
For over 100 years, Poe has thrilled readers. Now, an interesting new look on Poe's short story, Facts in the Case of M. Valdemar, breathes new life into the tale. It is a gloomy, stormy day. The Facts in the Case of M. Valdemar is a horror and supernatural story. The supernatural powers Poe uses creates a creepy, suspenseful environment that keeps the audience on their toes. The events are twisted and practically impossible. The audience who read this story must have been horrified by the results out of M. Valdemar. The characters include the narrator, M. Valdemar, his doctors D and F, and a medical student, Mr. Theodore L. The narrator begins by talking about his fascination with the subject of mesmerism, commonly known now as hypnotism. The narrator wants to experiment with mesmerizing someone when they are close to death, introducing M. Valdemar, who has tuberculosis and will soon die. M. Valdemar contacts the narrator within the predicted 24-hour time frame in which he will die. The narrator arrives at M. Valdemar's house and discovers the man to be on the very brink of death. The narrator then starts the mesmerization process, which involves properties of magnetism. M. Valdemar is successfully put into a state of mesmerization, his breathing slowed greatly and his extremities icy cold. The doctors who cared for M. Valdemar declared him in a perfect state of mesmeric trance. Everyone leaves the chamber and returns at 3 in the morning to perform tests on M. Valdemar. The narrator first has M. Valdemar's arm successfully follow every direction that he has assigned it. The narrator then attempts to converse with M. Valdemar and hopes to get him to respond. He asks, "M. Valdemar, are you asleep?" And M. Valdemar's blackened tongue replied,
"Yes. No. I have been sleeping and now I'm dead.
The people in the room are struck horror by his reply. The narrator continues tests like these over several months, and M. Valdemar remains in the same state throughout all the months. The last visitor that the narrator makes to M. Valdemar is at the end of the story. He tries his test again, but this time asks M. Valdemar if he wants to be awakened or just die. M. Valdemar's black tongue responds that he does not care, but either to let him die or awaken him quickly. The narrator attempts to wake him, but as he does so, M. Valdemar's body turns to dust, leaving a foul odor.
Poe uses his well-known creepy and supernatural language. He leaves his readers with wondering if the tale is in fact true. How could a man stay perfectly intact while in a mesmeric trance and as soon as he awakened turn to dust? The narrator of the story is unreliable, because the reader can't really trust what he says is true, because the events that happen are impossible and so bizarre.
Another angle taken on Poe's motives is his stand on new developing technology. According to Frank Adam, who wrote an article about M. Valdemar, Poe's story is a joke on the anti-figurative style that the new technology will come to stand for. Meaning, Poe believes that the invention of the telegraph will take out the creativity that writing gives to its audience and the personal touch of the author. Frank claims that Poe was disgusted by the telegraph, and that he portrayed his disgust through the blackened tongue of M. Valdemar.
Believes that Poe is objecting to the telegraph as an, quote, overdetermined figure for precisely effective or manipulative writing that may conceal the figurative but can never do without it. So the question is not only if the story is in fact true, but if it carries a message to all about Poe's disgust for new technologies that will change how writing is done from there on out.
Thank you, Emily, for that interesting report. I know I'll be watching out for a black tongue. Well, that's all we have for tonight. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.